Hi, Elaine Enlightening here at taplightunlimited.com. So excited to be back here today. Yesterday was my first vlog ever and I had an amazing experience with it, and so I'm so excited to come back today and share with you my experience. I had an amazing shift, like a quantum shift, after creating the video and the tapping sequence at the end. I mean, here we focused on clearing the fear of going on a major trip alone. I'm going to be going to Indonesia and staying in Bali for a whole month. I'm going to go all by myself. I don't know anybody that's going to be there. And I'm going to be leaving at in June. And so we just tapped on that fear, and amazingly enough, just like how tapping does work, and it's a very wonderful way for things to get cleared. And you may think you're going to clear the thing you're talking about, and it may actually affect other areas of your life because things get all tangled up and the ego tangles them all up, but they get all unwound, and as we heal, it heals all other aspects as well, and we might not even know right away. Well, I was blessed to know right away because I went to upload this video, and I hadn't uploaded a video for a while, and I don't have a lot of experience with that, so I struggled a little bit with one of the aspects of doing that. And what was so interesting is that my habit has been to be very frustrated whenever I'm going to deal with tech stuff, and so I kind of have my little meltdowns pretty quickly after making that attempt. If things don't go smoothly, and they normally don't, and that's because I've been projecting my own fear and all of my own limiting beliefs about that, and so I'm seeing the results of what I'm thinking, because we're that powerful with our thoughts. So anyway, but what I did was I called my son, and I wasn't at all frustrated. And normally, especially in the evening or late at night, I made the video in the evening the way it was, and that already was a big shift. And then whenever I did the video, by the time I started working on it, it's even later. And then when I couldn't get things to go well, I just went and asked my son for some help. My 17-year-old son, he doesn't upload videos regularly either, so it's not like he has experience with that, but you know, he's a little more handy with the tech stuff, so usually he can figure stuff out pretty quickly. Well, he couldn't, and I felt his frustration kind of rising. And what was so fascinating through this whole time, calm, 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 okay? This is what we were tapping for, was to receive this kind of peace, to go from this level of excitement that really is founded in fear, and to clear that and to experience the peace that we're intended to have in our natural state. So I just was very calm as I dealt with this, and when he left the room, he didn't have it figured out yet, and even though he'd gotten frustrated, I still was very calm. I sat down, and instantly, I mean, it was instantly, I fixed it and moved on, and anyway, it was really cool. So I went through some more steps with it and stayed very, very calm. It wasn't until till into the wee hours of the morning, and my goal and intention was to get this video up on the web that day. And when that didn't happen, I knew that it wasn't meant to be, and that it would all work out, and that there was a reason for it, and there was something for me to learn from that. But at the same time, the later it got, I did feel myself getting a little more stressed, so that's when I went to bed. I hit another bump in the road, and what that did was that showed me another pattern. So this is another thing that happens when we're tapping, is that if we stay tuned into the situation and circumstances, even when we get a great clearing like I did, I mean, it was a huge quantum shift. I've spent a year tapping, and this has been a stubborn issue for me, where I get really frustrated sitting in front of the computer. And this is a big part of my business, right? So it's definitely hindering a lot of my energy. So what was interesting is I noticed that I tuned into what was going on, and I thought, okay, this is another aspect of the same issue. So a lot of times people will think that things aren't cleared, and all it is there's another aspect that needs to get cleared. You always clear whatever you deal with, whenever you're really open and honest about it. And if you're not, you just need to get another aspect, or there's just another level of which honesty that you haven't figured out, and that can be considered another aspect. So here I am recognizing that what is going on is that this pattern is hit a point of no return. This is what happens, is that I'll go along and I'll struggle and struggle and struggle. And I'll sense that I'm struggling to get the answer. And last night in the first struggle, I didn't let it upset me at all. So I hit this new level of calm, but I still had a bump in the road. And even though I ended up figuring it out, it took me reaching out to someone else before I figured it out. Now this is a long-standing pattern that it seems to come from the way I was taught to trust outside authority. This is my perception only. My sister could grow up in the same home and have a totally different perspective, so it isn't the truth, okay? It's just an illusion, but it is my perception, and that's what we're healing. So basically, I really stuck to the idea that I got to reach outside of myself for answers. And when the answer comes on my own, I'm always surprised if I can figure it out. Now last night, I wasn't able to actually, the same thing happened later on. I actually emailed my tech person, because he's kind of an all-night person, so I thought, well, maybe he'd be up in the night. Either way, as soon as I wrote out all the details, I went back and within seconds I saw what was already there on the page. It had always been there, but I couldn't see it. Now, it's not that it manifested itself all of a sudden either. So what we want to do is, and what I did was I asked myself, so why is it that I don't want to see? What am I benefiting from having this happen? And as I tuned into this, I realized it's drama. It's a drama queen addiction. So that's one part of it. And there's a lot of other aspects to it. So we're just going to tap on that. You're welcome to tap along. I hope that you will. We never heal alone whenever we heal. This is why I'm sharing this with you. And this is why I believe I had such a huge quantum shift last night, because it's the perfect example of what you give, you receive. So I was giving this gift of tapping to you to help you, and it bounced back, and I got instant results, and it was amazing. And I will say it carried on until the morning. I got some sleep, wasn't very much. Normally I wake up not feeling well, very grumpy, worrying about that I won't be able to make it through the day. I haven't even laid down or anything all day. And here I am creating another video. I have had another wonderful day of peace. On the way to school, taking my son to school, I'll tell this little story too. And he was, something happened. I won't get into the whole story so we don't get too long, but the bottom line is that I could feel the fact that I was really tired, but I still stayed really, really, really calm. This was very interesting. So as I felt, I could sense these thoughts coming up, I just addressed them as feelings, and I said how I felt about it. And it wasn't a judgment, but because I've made so many judgments in the past, my son made a comment, and I said, I understand. That's why I said it's how I feel about what you said. It's not what you said or what you said happened, or it's not even what has happened. And then I just vented some of my negative feelings. Stayed very calm. I didn't even feel any anger. I wasn't like suppressing the anger or forcing myself to be nice or trying not to be in touch, because I've given myself permission to be in touch with my feelings and to acknowledge them. That's how we let them go. So what the beauty of tapping is, with EFT, you address all the negativity and you can let it go. It's not going to make it worse. It does the opposite. So it's a beautiful system. So I allowed myself to acknowledge these feelings, and my son was like, well, that's pretty, you're analyzing that a lot. And I said, yes, the ego is alive and well right at the moment, but at the same time I was acknowledging it, but I wasn't letting it take me over. So that was another great carryover, and has been all day long, as I felt very peaceful. So for this I'm very grateful. And so we're just going to start tapping on this whole, it's really another fear that we're addressing. And it can be fear of being worthy or fear of being powerful. It always is about power, and usually has a lot to do with worthiness, although if that doesn't resonate with you, it's fine. You can tap along anyway. You're going to be surprised at how, you might be surprised at how it can help you. Do take responsibility though for your own results of tapping, and you're welcome to connect with me and ask me questions on private messaging on Facebook, or else you can email me. So let's just get started tapping, okay? So the first thing you want to do is make sure you get really grounded by taking a deep breath. Breath is the best way to get in touch with yourself and with your body and your emotions and feelings. Stay tuned with those, and notice whatever comes up for you during this tapping round. You can tap it again and again and again, or you can take it as a model and tap some more on your own, okay? Take a deep breath. Okay, let's start on karate chop. Even though I have this fear, just repeat after me, that if I let go of being a drama queen, that it'll be too scary, I won't know how to feel. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I may have a secondary benefit of not letting go of being a drama queen, because when things go haywire, I reach outside of myself for the answers. I just don't trust myself. I'm so afraid God won't hear my prayers, or you can say, substitute whatever works for you. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Okay, let's go to the top of the head and just follow around the points. You can see where I'm tapping, just tap in the same place and repeat after me. This drama queen addiction. I'm so addicted to drama. I'm afraid that if I let go of all this drama, it'll just be too scary of a space to live in. I don't know how to live without asking for help. Oftentimes I ask for help, and I still find the answer within myself anyway. Why is it that I don't want to see what is right before my eyes all along? I wonder why I close my ears off to intuition. A part of me thinks God won't hear my prayers. After all, I was taught to fear God. So I'm really afraid to trust God and the angels for support. I'm addicted to chaos and confusion. Sometimes when I ask for help, I get exactly what I need in return. And other times I just get more confusion and chaos. I'm so stuck in this comfort zone of being a drama queen or king. Throat chakra keeps getting activated here, so we're not surprised. I don't know how to let go of this fear of God. If I'm supposed to be afraid of God, then how the heck am I supposed to trust Him? They said He was love too. But He can't be both fear and love. Fear and love are opposites. And there are no opposites with God. Fear is not love. No wonder I'm so confused. Confusion is my state of normal. I choose to experience a new normal starting right now. This remaining fear that God won't listen or answer and remaining guilt from not trusting. I choose to trust my intuition anyway, starting right now. I choose to trust God and the angels and the idea that God's will and my will are the same. Because love created me like Himself. All is well. take a deep breath and see how that feels in your body. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this tapping round, this video. Have a blessed day. Elaine Enlightening at taplightunlimited.com. Bye-bye.